back in England. And here we are. I have been reading a book that I feel like has genuinely already become my favorite, and I haven't even finished it. So I don't know if you guys know, but recently I got a lot into Sikhism. Like it kind of just piqued my curiosity, so to speak. 444, how cute is that? Um it piqued my curiosity. I don't know, my soul just felt drawn to it. I'm someone who was very into like Western spirituality kind of thing, meditation and energy and all of these things. Not that I don't believe in those things. I do. I just find that I don't know, I find there's a container through Sikhism that I'm liking. And it's not even that I have decided to identify as a Sikh, because as Guru Nanak Ji says, and as said in one of my recent videos, is he came out and he said there is no Hindu and there is no Muslim, right? So he's trying to say there are no religions, so to speak. He was actually, it's really interesting, he was actually not for religion. He was just bringing out this new ideology, which is interesting because obviously Sikhism has become a really fast growing religion. But the book that I wanted to talk about, which I actually need to put in, like, sorry, just give me a moment. I just need to put in, I don't have like a bookmark, and I don't like folding my books, so I'm just gonna use a sticky note. Yeah, the book that I started reading, obviously I love Osho. Osho is just one of the most fascinating individuals ever to have existed. His mind, the way he thinks about things, the way he's able to critique things, and not even critique in a negative way, but just to evaluate and to analyze things, rather than just accepting everything that is given to him, especially religion and religious teachings. His understanding of life, of people, of women, is far, far beyond anything that anyone could possibly imagine. And I know he gets a bad rap, right? But I think you mustn't just judge someone by one thing that you've heard about them. If you read his books, if you actually listen to what he says, more often than not, when you're on that level, you will resonate with him, and then you'll just be fascinated by his mind, as opposed to like judging him. And to be honest, just really understanding where he's coming from with the whole bad rap thing. I don't even understand it, to be honest. I haven't really got into it, and I'm not interested in someone's like rumors about someone like that. But yeah, Osho. So I started reading this book. It's called The True Name, the talks on Japji Sahib of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So Japji Sahib is one of the first banis in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, and they say that if you can understand what it's trying to say, and then you essentially understand what the whole of Sikhism is trying to teach you. And it's fascinating because when I started learning more about Sikhism, I really understood it to be very spiritual. It wasn't like what you usually expect religion to be, which is, oh, there's lots of fear, you need to be scared, you need to be scared, you need to like do this and do this and be, it's like really rigid. It's not like that at all. Sorry, my camera just I have a different phone that I'm going live on today. I took my phone back from my brother because he was just being really naughty, and I had to deprive him because I just don't think it was doing him any good. But yeah, okay, so I made loads of notes. I was actually on the flight back from India, and I started reading the book, and I got to like page 70 about what it's trying to say. But yeah, as I was saying, it's very spiritual. It's very about like this oneness, right? It's always talking about this oneness, like ek onkar, which is really profound, because that's something that I've learned. Hi. That's something I've learned in just general spirituality, about the oneness of life, and something that I truly believe in. I mean, I don't even think it's something that is like true because I believe in it, or it's just a fact. Okay. And this oneness is actually well, there are two white butterflies. I wonder what that means. But yeah, there's this oneness that everybody speaks about, right? Like, I'm sure, I think in Buddhism they speak about that. Okay, I'm lying. I have no idea what I think they do. It's like a general thing, okay? So things like, yeah, there's one thing that exists, and there is one thing, there's one energy that exists that pervades the whole of the universe, which is God itself. And then we are an aspect of God. So we are the drop in the ocean of consciousness, which is God. But the thing is, God is so beyond our understanding. And you know, one of the things, like one of the reasons why people find it difficult to understand God, I think it's first of all because we think that we need to understand God through other people, right? Like the priest, or like this or that, like a holy person who works in a religious institute, or you know, like that they know more than us, that we have to go through God, like we have to go to a church or Gurdwara, or you know, a mosque or something to find God. That is not the case, and Osho talks about this. It's really interesting that I found this book, because obviously he's talking about a religion. Well, he's talking not even about a religion. He is a little bit, but he's talking about something that forms the holy book in Sikhism, okay? And it's Osho. And from what I know of Osho, Osho didn't really he didn't really listen to any religions, right? He was kind of way beyond that, because I feel like religion can be a container. Hence why I don't identify as Sikh. I just love learning. I love the mat, you know, the I am Indian, yes. You know, I love the vidya, like the wisdom that comes from it. And I'm really enjoying learning about it. But you know, by no means do I feel like I need to identify as anything, because we are all one. So we are all part of God. So God has no identity. God has no religion. God has no gender. God has no sexual orientation. You know, God is beyond all of these things. These things are a just something that we experience in our human life, okay? Because our true reality is not this. कैसे हो हम चढ़ती कला गुरु दी कृपा आप कैसे हो but yeah, you know, God is beyond all of these things. And the thing is, to attain God, you have to become like God. So what is God like? That is what we're going to discuss. I actually wrote, okay, I don't know if you, I feel like you can't see, okay, you can't see it because it's coming out the other way, but I'll explain it. Let me just put this here. Okay, so obviously God exists in all of us, right? Because we are all an aspect of God. What happened is, we as humans came here, and the part of the game, so life is a game, it's called a Leela in Hindi, right? Leela, a play. Sorry, a play, not a game. It's a play, kind of like a game. The play is that we come here, we forget our divinity, right? We forget that we came from God, so that we may remember that we came from God, and we work through things to remember that, oh, you know what, I'm actually divine, kind of thing. And so this is why some people are awake and some people are not awake, and some people are aware of the truth and some people are not. And the people that tend to be not aware of the truth, they are not aware of their divinity, and they're not aware of the power that they hold within them. They tend to be the ones that suffer the most. So when you understand your relationship to God, and you are aware of your divinity, it is a relationship with God, right? Because I don't know what you assume God to be. Like, for example, hi Skylar. You know, my brother is like a very hardcore atheist, because I think he just saw so much you know, religious pressure being put on him to like believe certain beliefs, that he just became like, I'm done with this, I don't want any part of this. If this is what religion is like, if this is what God is like, I don't want any of it, you know. And I feel like that's what happens for a lot of people. I feel like they may have you know, not a so great relationship with religion or with God, because they just assume God to be this like scary man in the sky telling you what to do, when it is by no means that. The thing is, we as humans try to conceptualize God, right? But God isn't, like, God is beyond thought. God is beyond concepts, okay? God is not, like I said, God is not found in temples. God is not found just in specific things. But God is found everywhere. God is found in everything. And that is something, if you can remember that, right, then you will do well in this life. Then you will have no suffering. Because in every little thing, you will see God. When, you know, in the book it was saying, when you drink water, be reminded that it is God quenching your thirst. You know, it is God in the water. When you eat food, you're eating God. You know, like God was in the plants, right? God was light in the plants, and God is in the plants. So when you're eating the food, focus only on the food and remember that it is God. And then think about that. Think about if in every little situation you saw God in every little thing, like in this pen, God, okay, oh my God, you know, I love you so much. You're God. Let me respect you. Let me treat you with like reverence and, you know, care, right? Like you would treat everything with so much love and reverence if you knew it was God. However, the thing that's happened now is that we think that God only exists, like there's one God and he's like far away, like we've externalized God, right? Like God is a being, he's the man, he's far away from us. And though in Sikhism they do refer to him, as God, the thing is, this is a limitation of the of like English language, and not just the English language, but of language altogether. Language is extremely limiting. Okay, and that's what Osho talks about, how, you know, God is beyond these concepts. God can't be conceptualized. God is far too infinite to be trapped into language, hence why it can be confusing. We don't always fully understand it, because God is an experience. Okay, God is a feeling. Think about, you know, a time where you felt so good. Maybe it was your wedding, maybe it was your child being born, or I don't know, someone's birthday, someone like, I don't know, something really really cool. Okay, like your, I don't know why I keep saying, like, okay, I was gonna say like your child's first steps, but I don't know if you guys have kids, so just something really special. Okay, think about that moment. Do you think that you could use words to explain that moment? Do you think words could do justice to that moment? Probably not, right? It's almost like, hi. It's almost like a book. A book is so, okay, even, okay. A book is so much more cool, right? Like a book is always better than the film, in my opinion, because a book gets your imagination going, right? It's something that's happening within you. Yeah, there are words involved, but it's your imagination that's wild, right? And God is imagination. God is the energy, it is the potential, um you know, the waves of potential that exist. And you, like, if I asked you to describe something in your imagination, something really cool and vivid, it would be difficult for you to explain it to someone, right? And them to be really able to capture the essence of what you are imagining. This is because you just can't. Language is so incredibly limiting, and that's the problem. We try to understand God through language, right? But it's like she exists in concepts like way beyond that. God is in our hearts. If you charge him, he will be there for you at all times and feed you with wisdom and nourishment. Whoever loves God loves himself. Yes. Hi, hi, Jason. Um, exactly, Skylar. It's correct. God is in your heart. God is just the energy that you are, right? Like everybody is born, right? We get a body, but this body is not absolute, okay? Because this body is temporary. So what the Japji Sahib starts off with is the Mool Mantra, okay? So that is Ek Oankar, which is there's one creator, okay? And then there's a part where it says Satnam. Satnam is the true name. So Sat can be divided into two. So it's the truth, and then which is Sat, and then it's Satya, which is validity. So let me just get the notes because I want to be really specific. Okay, Oankar, God time. Okay, let's talk about Omkar first. It's actually spelled Omkar. What's the book? The book is Osho. It's called The True Name. Honestly, it's like the best book ever. It talks about the Sikh, like one of the first sections of the Guru Granth Sahib. I am 28 years young. Okay, so yeah, it starts off with Ek Onkar, right? So it's spelled Onkar, and people say Onkar, Onkar, but in the book he calls it Omkar, which refers to the sound of Om. So Om is a sound that a name not given by man. So every other name created for God was given by man, other than Om. And then Om is it's a frequency, okay? It's not a word, but a resonance that has no source and is not created by anybody. You know, there was this video that I was watching a while back, of this woman, and she was saying, let me just drink some water. This woman was, I think it was a woman, it was someone, saying how she was so tuned in with life that she could hear the ocean saying Om, and just the whole of creation saying Om. Because Om is really significant. I don't know if you've ever chanted Om, you know, it feels really nice. Repeat please. Surpidaras. Sir is Nick. Name is my friend. Repeat. I'm 28. Surpidaras? I don't know what that means. Sur, it's Nick. Name is my friend. Surpida. Is that your name? I don't understand. Yeah, so the whole of creation is saying Om, but you're just not aware of it. You know why? Because your senses are overexcited. How often are you always listening to something? You're listening to something, you're watching something, you're talking to someone, you're thinking about something. Like, when are you actually just not doing anything? You know, not often. This is why meditation is wonderful, because meditation is just being, okay? Not doing. Because so much is happening. There's so much to be experienced in the doing of nothing, okay? Meditation is non-action. What we have started to do is just take loads of action. So in the West, what you see is these people are very, very far away from God. Nietzsche said God is dead, right? Because in the West, God was dead, because people were far too much into action and building this outer physical life that they forgot their inner world. They forgot God, because God is in the silence. God is in the void. God is in the potential, right? This is why they go to the East, where in the East they believe people to be lazy and indolent. But when they want to be closer to God, they go to the East. So it tells you everything, right? So it's in action that you find God. It's in the sensitivity that you are more aware of God. But like I said, people have overexcited their senses, and they just don't have that sensitivity anymore to be able to feel things. For example, empaths. You know how like empaths can feel things and they're called sensitive and it's not a good thing, or people are really emotional, blah blah blah. It's just because they can feel energy, they can tune into things. And someone who's just never sat down quietly for like 2 minutes, like in years, just doing nothing, you can only imagine what level their sensitivity will be on, right? For us to be happy, and Surpadaras knows, okay, you know, for us to be happy, we have to have a connection with God. And having a connection with God means having a connection with yourself, because God resides within you. So as I was saying, we are given a body, right? But this body is temporary. It's not forever, right? So anything that is not forever is not the truth. That's why they have Sat Nam. Okay, wait, let me just go through this bit. Okay, it's Sat. God is. So, okay, also, God is the dancer and the dance, okay? You can't separate the two. So you can never be separate from God. It just doesn't work. Like, God is always there. You're just not aware of it. You are surrounded by God. Like I said, everything is God because it's Ekonka, right? There's only oneness that exists everywhere. And, you know, I remember talking to one of my friends who used to be a Muslim, and, well, I assume he still is. And I remember saying to him, like, what's the point of having a religion? What if you just believed in love and then you saw God in everybody, and then you just treat everybody like they were God? Like, do you need any more guidance on life? You wouldn't, right? Because you treat everybody like God. So what do we treat God like? We give God respect, reverence, Well, most of us do anyway, I think. But that's the general idea, right? God is really respected. For those of you who are not, I guess, angry with him. Okay. Time means change. Without change, there's no time. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna talk about Satnam, okay? So the truth. Sat is the truth, and the truth is that which lasts forever. So time is something that is here, that exists to express change. So if nothing changed, there would be no time, right? Let's say that the sun has come out, like everything looks the same and nothing is changing. Well, how do you know time has lapsed if nothing is changing? It's almost like getting a video, like, or like a film, and then pausing it, and then no time is lapsing because nothing is changing. Do you understand? So time is something, that expresses change. So there is a part of us that is changeless, that is not birthed through the womb. It is self-creating and has no support except his own. The day you see this in yourself, you will be rid of all worries. Worries stem from dependence on things because any support can be snatched. So, when we depend on God, we have infinite support, right? Because God is all that there is. So if God supports you, and the way that God supports you is if you're in connection with God. Like I said, this is why things like philosophers always say, know thyself, because to know thyself is to know God. Because, like it was saying, there is a part of you that is birthed and not through the womb, right? Your body comes through a womb, through a channel, through a vessel, your parents, your mother. But there's a part of you that doesn't come through her, that isn't created just in her, that is given to you. It's a light. Let's just call it a light. I don't want to say soul, and I don't want to get it mixed up. So we're going to say a jod, right? A light. That's what they call it in Sikhi. A jod. Everybody has a light within them. And this light is God's light. It is God. Everybody has this light. And this light, because it is God, has all the qualities of God. It is within you. But then what happens is that we become blind to this light. We don't see this light. We think that the light of God exists outside of us. So we externalize this light. We either externalize it and then we're like, oh, okay, let me go find in a mosque, let me go find it in a church, let me find it in a temple, let me find it through this priest, through this person who's like a preacher or a cult leader, who I don't know is actually a cult leader, kind of thing, because this person represents the light that my soul is yearning. These people have the best intentions. They want to find God, but they don't understand that God is found through them. The light already exists within you. You are just not aware of your divinity. And that is the point of life, to become aware of your divinity. When you become aware of your divinity, you feel endless support. Yeah, the thing is, I can't even explain to you how it feels in words, because words cannot encapsulate what it feels like to be supported by God, to have God on your team, to know God within you, to know thyself. Everything becomes easy. One of the biggest things that it says in Sikhi, right, is hukam. Follow God's hukam. Hukam is command. So this means that whatever God does, it is for the best of you. But meditation can also distract you from daily life. It is important that you first find inner peace. Only then can you connect with your higher self and get answers to all your questions. It's very interesting, Skylar. Thank you for that. So, look, meditation isn't something that is meant to be separate from your entire life. Meditation is simply a state of awareness, which is something that is meant to be attained and retained for the whole of your day, all the time. Meditation is you connecting with your God self, okay? Because God is God is awareness. God is a witness. God is an observer. So when you become the observer, you become God. You are going into the perspective of God, right? And you want to maintain this perspective all day. You want to maintain this perspective throughout your whole life, because it means you're awake. It means you're not asleep. It means you understand what this play is about, right? Because you are the creator. You, aka God. You are the writer, aka God. You're the main actor. And you're, the actor right? Creator, like an observer. You're all of these things, okay? And you want to maintain yourself at that level because, first of all, it means you're being present. This is what being present means. It means being in a state of meditation, which is simply awareness. I think maybe people get it confused and think, oh, it's like I have to sit and be really serious and I have to be really quiet and only then am I meditating. But meditation can be done with your eyes open. In fact, it should be. There should be no distinction between, well, this is the point that we're all trying to get to, right? It's like there should be no distinction between your meditative practice and your actual life because you are always aware. You know, you're always present, and this is something that I've learned in my meditation practice. So I have been doing the Waking Up app meditations by Sam Harris, and they are incredible. I can only like, I can't even imagine the kind of state Sam has gone into with the things that he has brought up. I've never done a meditation like that before. It's like a daily meditations that are very different, and then he talks a lot about different you know, aspects of spirituality and and just like different ways to meditate, about like how you can meditate with your eyes open and like your visual field. So yeah, he talks about how he doesn't want us to just have it as like a isolated practice, sit down, do it, and then you forget it for the rest of your day. In Osho's book, right, Osho is talking about how a true religious person isn't just a person who goes to the temple, remembers God, prays, and then goes home and then just like resumes its life and he's like, oh, okay, I've forgotten God now. God only exists, you know, in the temple. No. Someone who's connected with God sees God in everything they do. Every little thing that they do, they see. They're reminded of God. What is the use of this video? I don't know. I guess it's whatever use you make of it. What does the tattoo mean? I am curious. It means nirpa, which is actually it's from Sikhi. It means fearless. I heard it when I heard the Mool Mantra for the first time, and I don't know, it really resonated with me, so I decided to get it tattooed on my chest next to my heart. But yeah, what was I talking about? Being connected to God always. When you're connected to God always, you are reminded of the fact that you are being present, right? Because you're reminded of the fact of the truth of life, of your divinity, right? Because, okay, people go through a spiritual awakening, right? But how often are they embodying? And embodiment is the most important thing. I can learn about conspiracy theories. I can learn about meditation, visualization, aliens, channeling, all of these things. Yet, if in my everyday life, I become asleep to these things, that, oh, okay, this is the reality of life. My energy really matters. What I think matters. The way I behave, the way I treat people. Life is a mirror. Tattoo, please. Nirpa. Fearless. Which one are you talking about? My arm? This one? Yeah. You know, if you don't have embodiment, you have nothing. The person who who acquires knowledge but doesn't apply it is just as good as the person who never learned it in the first place. When you begin to embody something, it becomes wisdom. Wisdom is to know, okay? Whereas knowledge is just like memory. It's just like, oh, okay, it's up here. But like wisdom is just like an inner knowing. A lot of people put a lot of emphasis on knowledge, and that's what I used to do. I used to just read loads of books, and I still love reading books, don't get me wrong, but you know, I focus more on being and more on like being present, because I want to apply the things that I've learned also. I want the things that I learn, if I like them and if they like, you know, speak to my soul, I want to have them be present in my life. Why am I just going to read things and is your sunshine? Sunshine. It is Scorpio. How do you know? Oh wait, Scorpio Sage, obviously. But yeah, you want to be embodying these things, and that is what a true religious person does. A true religious person embodies their beliefs. They're connected to God all the time. And that is what Sikhism teaches. It really emphasizes Nam Jap. And Nam Jap is repeating Waheguru, which is the name of God that they have given in Sikhism, right? Because it has a certain frequency. And the thing is, right, so some people can meditate, which is called Dhyan. they can go straight to dhyan, okay? They can just sit and meditate and be silent and reach sun samadhi. Sun samadhi, which is silent and still, samadhi, a state of bliss and ecstasy. So they can reach sun samadhi. Samadhi is also mentioned in Hinduism. They can reach sun samadhi straight away, right? Because I guess they have that level of meditations from their past lives, maybe, or they've meditated a lot, or it could be anything. So for other people, it's not that easy. Other people have to do something called I'm Punjabi. Other people have to do no, they don't have to do, but they can do Nam Jap. And Nam Jap tends to be a way in which you're constantly remembering God all the time, all the time. The thing is, what you're doing is you're saying it, so you're repeating it. So you can repeat it out loud. Wah, guru, wah, guru, wah, guru. Or you can repeat it in your mind. Well, the point eventually is that it repeats automatically inside of you and you listen to it. So if you say it out loud, you want to be listening to it, because the key thing is the listening is really emphasized in Japji Sahib, which, like I said, is, you know, the first section of the Guru Granth Sahib. It's the first thing that Guru Nanak Ji actually came out and said. So Guru Nanak Ji, you know, the first guru of Sikhism, he was an extremely enlightened being. Okay, I want to express how enlightened. I feel like I didn't understand the kind of possibilities that were available for human beings through their meditation, through their bhakti. Because, like I said, when you meditate, and then, you know, in your everyday life, you are acting from the place of God. You have the powers God has. And God's powers are infinite. It is everything. It is beyond our beliefs. Isn't the light in your heart that illuminates the path you walk with God as your guide? It is. The thing is, Skylar, a lot of people are not aware of the light that they have within them, right? They're looking outwards, they're not looking inwards, and they just don't know how to connect to that light. And the way that you can connect to that light is by going inwards, by you know, stopping looking out there and looking like, oh, okay, maybe I need to check in the mirror, maybe I need to look inside of me, and see what's actually lurking within me. Maybe there's something in me, maybe the answers are all in me, you know. And that is through meditation. Meditation is non-action. It is sitting there and doing nothing, and that is how we can see God. I mean, to be honest, you know, it can be through, like, I know, for example, I was speaking to someone who did sports, you know, intense sports, and he would work out, and he said I would get to a point where I guess he was experiencing non-duality. So I guess it can be done through something like sports. So it's a flow state, okay? A flow state when you're just being. It's like effortlessness, okay? Because things cannot be done with effort, okay? I can't ripen a banana with effort. I can't make myself go to sleep with effort. It has to come naturally. That is what your connection with God has to be like. It's not going to be like full of effort and really difficult. Like, I have to sit like this, I have to breathe like this, this. There has to be a sense of relaxation. So, you know, I was watching this podcast, and this man was saying how in Punjabi he says buddhi ਢਿੱਲੀ ਰੱਖੋ ਤੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਰੀਰ ਵੀ ਢਿੱਲਾ ਰੱਖੋ, which means that your buddhi, which is your mind, you need to allow that to relax. You need to let it loosen up. You know, we think that being smart, reading loads of books, listening to loads of podcasts is gonna like magically do something, and it's the only thing. But a lot of times we just need to relax. We're already on the train to God, right? We don't need to hold a suitcase on our heads, right? So it's this story. It's this guy who gets on a train, and he's got his luggage on his head, and then someone says, like, you're on the train now, you can just put it down. And he's like, no, but like I have to carry it, you know, like won't like I don't want to put too much load on the train. I said, you're already on the train. The load is already on the train. What are you on about? Put it down, okay? So that's like your mind. Put it down. Let it relax. Let your body relax. What did I want to be when you're small? What do you want to be now? Is the conversation I'm having not interesting enough? I wanted to be a doctor only because my mom wanted me to be, and you know, I had this thing where I wanted to help people, so I guess I thought being a doctor was like that way, and I knew that it would make my mom happy, and I wanted to be a good kid. What do I want to be now? I want to be someone who goes around the world helping people, someone who I guess shares my wisdom and my experience, and then with people who want to hear it and who feel inspired or moved by it. Yeah, and I guess to help people realize their full potential and connect with God, which is something I'm learning to do myself. So, the more I connect with God, the easier it is for me to help people connect to God too. What about you? Yes. Okay. Okay. Let me have some food. I just keep getting, ever since I've come back from India, I just get Oops, I'm so sorry. I've just come back and I'm just really dehydrated all the time. And this water tastes like I'm like water from India for some reason. I don't know why. Probably shouldn't be drinking it. I like to take risks. Okay. So our intelligence and our capacity to think is very, very limited. And you are a good person. Thank you, Yash. Tell me about you. Okay. Good. Yeah, our intelligence and our capacity to think is very limited. God is not of us. We are because of him. Okay? Him, okay. We already went through this. Him is just a way of expressing God through language. It can be him, her. It's very interchangeable. When we assume that all victory is his and all blame is his, then we are connected to God, right? Because I want to be a chef, but now I'm in HR. Okay, so what's stopping you from becoming a chef? Or standing in the way? Look, a lot of times something good happens and it was me. I did it. I got this job. I got this promotion. I'm the one who got this success. I did it all. But then something happens, like you lose a job or like something like breaks or something, then it's God, right? God did it. God, how dare you? God, you hate me. I remember I used to have this friend and she used to always say, God, why do you hate me? God, you hate me so much. And then I would say the same thing because I just thought it was cool to just be really pessimistic and negative. And it really makes sense that I was saying that at that time because things were not looking good, because everything you expect, everything you say is the way that it is. You say it for a reason. It's expressing something within you. It's expressing a state within you, right? Happy people say happy things. They say very like loving and like blissful and romantic, not necessarily like in a relationship, but like really romantic, like saints and stuff. Like even Osho, like the way that they speak, they just have this like energy to them, and everything is just so like beautiful, and it makes you feel good, right? Compared to, I don't know, someone else like Donald Trump, for example, when he speaks, it's like, we don't like those people, we don't like that, blah, blah, blah. Like, to be honest, I don't know if he says that. I don't really listen to him, but I think he may be. I don't know. Insert someone who's super negative, okay? And then just think about them and think about what they say. Because words come from your soul, right? Words come from within you. They show us what exists in your house, in this body of yours. That is temporary. It is not absolute. The absolute world is full of energy, and energy is God. God is consciousness. God is love. God is awareness. Does that make sense? So, good, love you. Oh, you're funny. In our religion, we cannot make no veg. Oh, that's sad. Why don't you become a vegetarian chef then? A vegan chef? You are funny. Love you. Bye. When we can just accept everything of God, right? Because what was I saying about hukam, right? Hukam is God's command. So when we can just accept everything, like, okay, if something good happens, God, thank you so much. Like, this is all you're doing. It's not me, it's you. Because what they really emphasize in Sikhism is having a master-servant relationship. And look, I know, I used to think this too, okay, before. I used to be like, what? Like, I'm not anyone's servant. I'm a god. I'm a goddess. How dare you? Like, I'm not gonna bow down. But the reason why in Sikhism they want this relationship to be like such in this way is because when you come from that servant place, there's a dissolving of your ego. which is important for you to have a relationship with God. Because, look, oh no, I don't want to rub that out. I wish there was something on the back of this. Okay, fine. No. Okay, I'm gonna explain it with my hands. Okay, so this is God, right? God is oneness, right? Oneness. But then we have an ego that was created. So this ego is like, oh, my name is Priya. I live in England. I am a Scorpio. I am on YouTube Live now. Blah, 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 blah. I'm doing this. I am like this. I've achieved this. I have this. I have this. You know, it's like here. Oh, I did this. Oh, I did that. I earned this much money. I got this. I look like this. You know, it's the ego, right? It's an identity that we have. And then as soon as as long as we have the ego, we aren't one with God, because there can only be one. So there has to be a dissolving of the ego. And see, I never, like, I used to see this whole like dissolving of the ego thing, and I used to see it in comparison to women in Western spirituality, and they used to say, no, like women have to keep their ego because like women have to like it's men who need to dissolve their ego, not women. I don't know, I don't understand that anymore. I'm kind of just like putting that out. Like, I guess when you're learning something new, kind of just like reject what you knew and like go with it and see how it goes for you, right? Like, you had to fully surrender into I'm from England, but I'm Indian. I'm just from, such an interesting question. I'm of this, I don't even know what to say to that. But yeah, there's an ego that exists, right? And it's about like having the dissolving of this ego, so that there's only God left, right? There's only you, God. And then it's like, okay, you're acting and embodying God all the time, right? There's that unchanging, like unmoving part of you. So let me tell you about something. So God is unchanging and unmoving, okay? So there's a part of you that is unchanging and unmoving, which is God, which is in you, which is in everybody, okay? So this is why when it is your birthday, is it lagging, by the way? I feel like I can see it lagging. I don't know why. When it is your birthday, people ask you, oh, do you, like, how do you feel? Do you feel any older? And you're like, no, like, I literally just feel the same. That is why. It is because there's a part of you that is unchanging. You know how people are like 80 and they're like, I don't feel a day older. I still feel like I'm 20. Well, that's why, because you're not actually changing. Nothing is happening. Like, your physical body may be aging and time is going by and things are changing outside of you, right? But inside of you, nothing is changing, and it is unmoving. It's not moving. It is still. So I came back from India and it felt like I hadn't even moved, but everything around me is moving. It's almost like, like a video game, like a VR game, or think of a video game. I know in a video game sometimes you are moving. You know, when you have a character, and I used to play Sonic a lot, like Sonic the Hedgehog. I used to have that game. It's so like whenever I think of this, I think of Sonic the Hedgehog, like running around in his like little universe that he has, and things are just like being created. Oh God, what's the word? It's something simulation. There's a word for it where like it's in gaming, it's like a game name in gaming, where reality is just being created as you're walking, right? Like, it's not like the whole landscape exists whilst you're in the game. It only appears when you're moving through it, and that is what life is like, okay? It only appears as you're moving through it, but the thing is, you're not actually moving. I used to get this realization when I used to be higher, because I would be walking and I would be like, why does it feel like I'm not moving? Like, it's just so still right now. I'm like walking forever and everything's taking so long, because I realized marijuana is so it's so powerful, because I feel like I had this realization on marijuana that life is a trip, okay? You think you're tripping when you smoke, but life is just a trip anyway, and you're just becoming aware of it. Right? Like, what do you think? That was it. Like, life is just a big old trip. It is a dream. It is temporary. There is no truth to it. The only thing that is true is the thing that lasts forever. You are not angry right now, I'm assuming. I hope so. You may become angry and then you go to a state of not being angry anymore, right? Like this is happening all the time. There is someone that comes into your life. There was a period in your life where they weren't there. Then they come into your life, and then they're not there anymore. You see, like, it's temporary. Everything is temporary. Things come, things go, things go, things come. These things are temporary. And the thing that is temporary cannot be the truth. The only thing that can be the truth is the thing that lasts forever. And God lasts forever. God has lasted before time even existed. Because yes, there is something beyond space and time. I know, it's crazy since we feel so bound by it. But, you know, these things are real because you can go into states that are timeless. Like people can sit and meditate for hours and it doesn't feel like that. Why? Because they've reached that state of timelessness. They've gone into God's state, you know, and that's possible. It is possible for us humans to do so many amazing things. Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of any siddhis, but siddhis are spoken about in Sikhism, maybe in Hinduism. Yeah, in Hinduism as well. Siddhis are supernatural powers to be able to do things like, for example, your consciousness can go Lagima Siddhi is where you can go really, really small, like the size of an atom, and just like, I don't know, be like in molecules and stuff and just look around in molecules. Or you can become really big, or there's one way you no camera or no technology in the world can capture you. There are so many different things that are available to you when you begin to connect with God, when you meditate. And look, the thing is, these are not the point of it, okay? No one's telling you to start meditating just so that you get supernatural powers, because the point is to connect with God, to attain peace, because we all have this yearning to be united with something, right? That's why we're social creatures, because we see that everybody's God and we want to be united with everybody. And it's this separation that is like really painful. Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you? You know, it's a separation that is really painful for people, especially, for example, a man and a woman. Why is it that we feel so drawn to each other? I'm from England. You know, why is it that we are so drawn to each other and we need to be with each other? And, you know, this industry that is booming of rom-coms and like Hallmark movies and all of these celebrations and all of this, because the soul understands that it was one and it wants to be one again. But the thing is, it is beyond just a romantic relationship. It is one with everything and one with yourself. I love England. Where are you from, PK? From Bihar? Are you from Bihar? You know, we just want to be one. That's why we want love, we want connection, because people represent that. India. Namaste. Namaskar. You know, and there's this like yearning for connection, because we've been separated, and somewhere within us we understand that that's happened. And the way that you can remedy this, the antidote to this, is connecting to yourself. Like I said, all the philosophers, what are they known for? Know thyself, know thyself. Everybody's always saying it, right? Know thyself. How do you know thyself? Through non-action, through meditation, through presence, through awareness, through self-evaluation. People don't evaluate themselves enough. Hi, Anshuman. People just don't watch themselves. People, I guess sometimes they lack humility and they take things personally. Because look, once you keep attributing all the great things to you, right? Like, it's called hankar, right? Hankar is like, I've got an ego, like, yeah, like arrogance about you. When you have that, what you don't understand is that you have built a home with really weak legs. Okay, let's just say you built a home on like a pen, okay? You don't understand what I'm talking. That's okay. Let me know if you need me to Chandivar. Chandi Divar. I don't know what that is. Chandi Divar. Chandi? Like the moon? Divar. I don't know. You're gonna have to explain to me, Anshuman. But yeah, you know, people who have a lot of arrogance and ego, they're like, oh, Chandi Divar. Oh, okay. Thank you. Learn something new every day. You know, they have when you have too much of an ego, you are really on like flimsy, like on a flimsy structure. So you can fall over really easily because you're like, oh, I did this and I did this. But then when something bad happens, Shakti, like that. Something bad happens and it's like, okay, well, you did everything great, surely you did this too. But then the thing is, someone with arrogance will be like, God, it was you, you know. But when we can just attribute everything to God, like, God, you did, because God is in everything, okay. And this also comes into like shadow work, right? Because if I like hurt someone accidentally, I'm not gonna sit there and beat myself up about it. I can be like, okay, you know what, God, like, I did this to you. Like, this must have been your will for me, and I choose to learn from it. Which is by no means like denying responsibility, because you must take responsibility for your life. Your life will change if you take responsibility for everything regarding you. Okay, too many people are not taking responsibility for themselves. Also, there's something I wanted to talk about. Sam Harris and the meditations that I have been doing speaks about the spiritual ego, which is something that I I guess fell into the trap of, which is I started making videos about humility and how important humility is, and I was like so proud that I have humility now, and then the thing is, what happens is that there's the normal person, right? The normal stand-up person who has an ego, who is not really aware of things. And then there's a person who like has a spiritual awakening, and then they learn about things, and then they begin to think that they're better than other people. I went through this, okay? I'm not beating myself up about it. It just happened, okay? And it's what happens because you're like, oh, okay, I have all this knowledge now. I know the truth. I know that my divinity, I know my power. And now other people who don't know, I'm looking down on you. I guess I'm being condescending or whatever it is, right? And then it's like this new spiritual identity forms of like, I'm a spiritual person. I'm like this. I'm like this. Yeah, and it's a more dangerous one, because you think that like at least the other person is aware of their vices, right? You don't even understand that you've created a whole new spiritual identity. And I guess that's something that um why the last girl said nobody can save you. No, nobody will. You have to save yourself. And isn't that the fun, like the fun part of it, like to be able to get up and just like fight for yourself and do something for yourself, right? PK, I just came back from India like not even a week ago. You missed me. You missed me. Maybe next time. Um, why are we gonna be the victim in this life? Like, is that why God created us? Is that why your mother gave birth to you, so that you could grow up and just be a victim? What happens to victims? Sorry, I get my V's and W's mixed up. I used to live in Austria, so they say wenn. Like, if I was to say in a German accent, it would be wenn, wat. Like, other than like what, I have to really think about it. I don't know why it's still taking me this long to get it out my system, but it is. It's God's will. It's God's will for me, and I accept it. Thank you, God. I guess it adds to the uniqueness. I guess you're a motivational speaker. Yeah, I guess so. Do you feel motivated? Then maybe I am. I try. I don't know, I just like to really share what I learn, and the things that help me in my life, and hopefully even if one person can pick up like one tiny bit of it and like implement it in their life, or think about it, or I don't know, whatever, like I don't know, I'm just here to share what I learn. It brings me great joy, and that's important in life, right? Like, we should do things that bring us great joy, that give us energy, okay? Because your energy is your life energy. Like, it's the thing that if we don't have, then we can't think straight. We can't feel love. We can't feel a state of abundance. We can't feel success. We don't have motivation. We don't have anything. You just want to lie and do nothing, right? Because you don't have energy. So do the things that give you energy. And this is one of those things for me. It gives me a lot of energy. You can see what gives you energy by like how you feel after you've done that thing. So for example, even if like you give me a number. PK. Okay. Kudos to you for taking action. Hi Rick. How are you? What was I talking about? But yeah, okay. So sometimes when you're with people, right, and like, okay, even after right now, after this live, I want you to see how you feel. Like, did you feel energized? Did you feel a drop in your energy? How was it? And then by that we can judge how good that thing is for us, because the things that fill us up, fill our cup up, those are the things we want. We don't want things that drain us. So if I drained you, just don't listen to me again, okay, for your own benefit. Because why would you do that to yourself? You must protect your energy. It is important. It is everything. It's like you have to see yourself as your own baby. What purpose? I have no purpose. I just creative flow, and just seeing where creative flow, expression, and just seeing where it takes me, and being able to oh no, Rick, it's okay. Look, Rick, I'm back in England now, so I'll be on lives more often. Don't you worry. Yeah, not everything has to have a purpose, you know? I feel like that's a very like masculine way of thinking about things. Like it has to have a purpose, and it has to be from A to B, and it has to be quick and fast and efficient. But oh my god. um but like the feminine way is like going, hi Natalie, cheers, would have a good one, cheers Rick, cheers sis. I love saying that to people who like refer to me in like a masculine term. How are you, Dudley? But yeah, the feminine way, guys, like my batteries, if it dies it dies, I'm sorry. But yeah, oh okay, 10%, okay, cool. Yeah, the feminine is the more like the scenic route, right? She takes it because she wants to see beauty in nature, like just delve in it rather than just like, all right, we have to get there really quickly. Like my dad was like a proper example of just like pure masculine energy without, I guess, any feminine energy, because he was just like, quickly, do it now, rush, I guess that's like survival mode also coming into that. Yeah, but it was intense, and I feel like I really picked up on that when I was younger, because even sometimes now, like I find myself like rushing to things, rushing and doing things, and I mean, I have like really healed my nervous system a lot ever since I was a child. You realize how I guess how in survival mode you were when you start healing, because you start realizing that when you're older you're not as affected by things, like the things that would affect me, like every little thing would affect me. Being in trouble would absolutely give me a nervous breakdown at school. Every little thing, I just felt like I was in danger and I was going to die. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Dudley. Ashman, Sikh don't want to tell about the hidden book. Why coconut is used in worship to Sarah? Sikh hides with God is woman. Sikh says God is not man or woman. Read or visit Banasab. Okay. I will do, Ashman. Thank you. Olaka. I don't know what that means. Does it mean hello? I don't know what that says in Punjabi, by the way. I can't actually. Is it? No, it's Hindi, isn't it? I can't read Punjabi. I belong to India. I don't belong anywhere. I don't have any. See, patriotic people, they're really interesting. Because there is no Indian, there is no British, there is no American. Like it's very futile, temporary things. It's weird, right? Like how can you be so proud to be of a land? Dasam Grant, okay, Dasham Grant, okay. Okay, about the hidden book. I will read that. Hi. Everyone's just entering and I'm about to leave. I'm sorry. We were talking about Osho and my favorite book. Okay, I just started reading a lollipop song. I don't know what that is. This one. I don't know if you know about Osho, but you probably do. Who doesn't know about Osho? But yeah, like he was explaining the Mool Mantra and the true name, and just my journey into connecting with God more and more, and really seeing God in every little thing. Like God is in the sun that is shining on my face right now. God is in the phone that I'm recording on right now. God is in every single one of you. And if I treat every single one of you like there is God within you, then I will treat you in the best way possible, right? Or sure I read. Right? Like if we could just do that, like if you had to educate yourself in nothing. You know, they say that the more educated you are, the less, like, the more educated people find it difficult to connect to God, because they are just so up in their mind, so in their mental faculties, because education is focused on the mind, right? I mean, the brain, right? Like the mind, I guess, not really on the heart. We don't have value-based education. We have very, like, mental-based education. And what is the mind without the heart? He was a revolutionary. um you know, we need more heart-based teachings, because we need to understand morals and ethics, and about you know, caring about people, rather than just like, oh, okay, like, this is going to give the best results. It's the most efficient thing. Yeah, millions of people are going to die, but it's fine, we need to go ahead anyway. And that's what we're seeing playing out, right? And that's the thing that is causing a lot of us so much distress. People who are actually connected with themselves, who understand that war is not the solution to things, or like fights or violence, you know, that things can be solved in a more mature way. It's like we tell kids these things, but then we support governments, and I mean, we don't really support them, that just exist. I mean, some people may do, I don't know. You know, that like support things like that. It's really sad, but they say that we live in the Kal Yuga, right? Kal Yuga is like the bad times, essentially. It's a period of life that we are going through, where it's the dark ages, essentially, and I think coming out of that soon. Hence why we see all these things. It's much more difficult. Actually, it's actually easier to connect with God now, because it's so difficult to connect with God. Does that make sense? Like the level of the game is so much harder, that if you do it, that it's easier for you to get there than because it's like through suffering we grow the most. People in happiness, I just like, they do nothing, you know. They're just what did he say? He said something. Osho said something. Mr. PK, I'm not giving out my WhatsApp number. I appreciate your willingness to want to contact me, but I feel like this is where we're going to leave this interaction. Okay. Suffering wakes you up. In happiness, you are lost and asleep. This is what Osho says. Kal Yuga basically means machines. Oh, okay. Machines. Interesting. So what do you think about AI? Do you think it's referring to AI as well? You know, so suffering is actually something that is a sign of, okay, you're a very like ascended soul, I guess, a very strong highly conscious being, because God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. You know, and I think that's a really cool thing. It's like, it makes you feel good, right? Like, wow, God, you think so highly of me? Like, you think I can handle this? That's why you're putting me through it. What a different way to think about life. Like, think about your hardships. Hello, did you remember me, Kesha? Even much less views, your effort of content feels like $1 million content. Why God bless you with Kesha? You are so sweet. Thank you so much. With your effort of content feels like $1 million. Oh, you. It just does it. I'm gonna cry. You're sweet. It's so good to see you. I'm back. I'm back in England, so it's so much easier for me. I have my own privacy, have my own room back now, so I'll be going on live much more often. Pakistan's in the bad. Interesting. Yeah, I think, like I said, patriotism is really hilarious, okay? Because you don't own land, right? You're gonna die, and then next lifetime you probably will come back as, I don't know, an Indian. You know? These things are happening all the time. I think in life we're attached to temporary things. I think this is why, like, truly in your heart you're not happy. People who are too attached to I don't know, like their sexual orientation, or they're too attached to their family, or to a particular football group, or a particular band, or this or that. Start updated tour life schedule. Tour life schedule, please. Oh, geez, a tour. Wow. Now that would be cool, right? I haven't even updated it myself, honestly. I just kind of do things in the flow. But I guess it will be around this time. So if I come on live, it would probably be around like, I don't know. Okay, now it's like 3:48 for me. So around like 1 till 3, 4. By the way, my phone is gonna die soon, so I'm gonna be peacing out in a bit. But yeah, like I said, I'll be here. I'm sure you'll catch me. If it's God's will, you'll catch me. But yeah, like I've really like reduced the amount of suffering in my life because I just accept God's will. I'm like, okay, God, this is your will. You obviously know more than me, because God does, right? God knows everything. Look, I used to be that control freak who used to think that if I'm not doing all of this thinking and this and this and this and this, that life is gonna stop spinning. Okay, that life is gonna stop spinning. My family's gonna stop breathing. Things are gonna go to shit. But that's not the truth, okay? Because God has been handling everything. I haven't been doing anything. We aren't doing anything. We literally are doing nothing. God is doing everything because God is in everything and everyone. So it's you just have to relax, really. I don't know why everyone's so stressed. Relax. It's fine. Go with the flow. Listen to the inner voice inside of you of God, which is there. I know it sounds weird and crazy, but trust me, it is there, okay? Just ask yourself a question and you're gonna get like a yes or a no. That's what I do. And if you don't, then work on your sensitivity and work on being quiet. Work on meditating, okay? Work on just sitting still and doing nothing. Your meditation practice is the most important thing, because what happens is that will translate to life, okay? It's not just like I sit and I have to sit really well and then I continue with my life and continue to do all the unconscious shit that I've been doing my whole entire life anyway. No, you want to get to a point where there is no distinction between your meditation practice and real life, because you're always meditating. Like, you don't even have to sit there and like close your eyes or anything, because all the time you are aware. It's awareness, it's mindfulness, right? Like everyone's talking about it all the time. Mindfulness, watching yourself, living life, not being lived by it. That is the key thing. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. I hope you learned something. If you didn't, that's also okay. That's God's will. Whatever is God's will, I accept it. You know, you can host your own show. I intend to. Whatever God's will. If God intends it, I'm sure I will. And Gishev, you're gonna have to come, okay? It's gonna have to be a live show and you're gonna have to be there. Everybody, whoever wants to be there can be there. Even you, Pakistan, Zindabad. Zindabad. Alright, peace. I love you. Bye.